a very warm welcome to all of you over here. Happy to have you all today here. Hope you all are fine. Your family members are also fine and safe and getting vaccinated as well. This is our second webinar where we all are meeting together, and this is possible because of the initiative of Reaching Hand and United Way Bangalore, powered by Concept Education and Mauli Arts Private Limited. I would like to request Mr. Vijay to have a few words with all the teachers and students who are joining over here, and also later on.
Hello, am
Yeah,
I
sir.
audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir. Go ahead.
this is Vijay from Reaching End. It's a great privilege to have this conservation of energy of the webinar, and we could enjoy last time also the seminar which conducted last 2 months back, and this really impacted for the many students. And as I was just talking to the most of the HMs and all, they were saying it was so nice and good to learn through all the equipments which you have already have said. I just wanted to say some of things that the Reaching Hand and United Way collaboration with Mauli Arts. So there are almost last we had a 10 school. We are already we installed the labs, STEM labs, and there was many students. They just went through according our what are the equipments that we have provided, and they learned through that, and they made what we calls they had some the model from the government side, and they have just made according to whatever we had teaching and all through our lab. And from Begu school, I think it's a Pawan Kumar, and he got award by government for making a model, science model. So this helped him, our lab helped him to creative more, to think creative and to make a models. And moreover, we have almost 3,900 the beneficiary they benefit through our all last year STEM lab through STEM labs. So I just wanted to encourage all the HMs, those who are on this webinar. So we take this whatever we are learning from today and teach our students since we are having school lockdown and all. So I want to encourage everyone to take care and learn it, and so we can teach more to our students. So thank you so much for especially our United Way of Bangalore, Preeti Madam, and even the Mauli Arts Private Sankar and all. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vijay, sir. Preeti, would you like to say something?
Sure. Hi, my name is Preeti. I'm from United Way Bengaluru. I have been part of United Way for past 6 months, sorry, 9 months, and I've been partnering with different partners, NGO partners like Reaching Hands, for funding opportunities. It has been glad that I'm part of this virtual session, and I can see a lot of people are joining in. More interested to know what the session is about. Like last time, there was a session which was done by Reaching Hands, which was done very well. Hopefully, this session will be more interesting for me to get to know about how students are going to enjoy and educate for conservation of energy. Thank you for involving me. Thank you, Molly Arts and Reaching Hands, for the participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, Preeti. So yeah, for this today's webinar, we have Jayashree Madam with us for today's session. Jayashree Ma'am is based in Mumbai. She is a part of education sector for almost 30 years. In 1982, she had started her journey as an assistant teacher and retired by 2018 as a headmistress. During her journey, she has been awarded by British Council as India Samaj Sakti Award and so many other awards. So at present, Jayashree Madam engaged in new areas of service and learning. She is leading one of the slum community school in Mumbai itself, helping the students along with the teachers to stretch themselves in all areas of work and develop themselves. So we are really happy to have such an experienced person with us today. Over to you, Jayashree ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah,
Thank you
before
so much.
starting, yeah, I'm so sorry. Before starting, if we can help us each other, we can mute ourselves. And if you have any questions, so you can jot down in the chat box. So at the end, we can have a Q&A session and more interaction. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Before I begin the journey today, allow me to thank all the sponsors of this program. Allow me also to thank the organizers of today's program. And let's hope that this will reach out to as many students as possible, and more children will enjoy doing experiments. Something which children of our generation missed. We would like that the present generation children will do more experiments and will be more involved in science and its development. So let me begin my program today, and I would like to share a PowerPoint with you. Can you see this?
Yeah, ma'am.
You can all see this. Yeah.
Yes.
So today we are going to do some few experiments, and they are related to some kind of movements. So let's see what those experiments are. Let's see the first one. The first one here shows a particular type of a movement. And you have to see what this movement is about. You will notice that there are three types of motion. The words written are oscillatory, rotational, and linear. Now, in this movement that you saw, what was the type of motion that you saw? Can anyone answer? Which was it? Was it oscillatory? Was it rotational? Or was it linear motion? Is there anyone who's able to tell what kind of a motion it is? Yes, I would like children to answer. Ganesh sir has told that all the children will be excited to answer.
Yeah, Ramesh, are you there?
Linear motion, ma'am.
Wonderful. Because it travels in a line, it is linear motion. What about this one?
This is circular motion, ma'am.
Okay, so we use the word rotational motion. So this one is rotational motion. And this one?
Oscillatory motion.
Excellent. It is oscillatory motion. So what we are going to study today is about the oscillatory motion. Who found out about oscillatory motion? what are the oscillatory motions? What are the different experiments that we can do in this oscillatory motion? So before that, we must know what is an oscillatory motion. So let's see what one of the example that is given here is a swing. Is there anybody who can give me one more example here of an oscillatory motion?
Clock.
Okay, the pendulum of the clock. Wonderful. Nowadays, we don't have those kind of clocks which have pendulum. But in the olden days, we did have pendulum for the clocks, and they would swing from one point to the other. So using that as as an example, let us see what the definition is. Now, oscillatory motion, the words are to and fro. To and fro means from one point to another point and back to that same point. So to and fro about a mean position. Now the mean position is in the center. So from here it moves, then it comes back to the center, it goes here, and then this continues. This repeated motion is an oscillatory motion. So let me read the definition. It is a repeated to and fro movement about the mean position. Let's go to the next one and see. What you're seeing here is an experiment that we do with oscillatory motion in the laboratory. So what you're seeing here is a simple pendulum. You were talking about the example of the clock. So here is the pendulum of the clock. This is a simple pendulum. And this particular simple pendulum has got two parts. One part is it has got a thread, and the other part is it has got something which is heavy tied to the thread. And we are going to do the motion and see how does it take place. So this one here is a simulated experiment. You can see that on this page, I can change the length of the pendulum. On the right hand side, I can change the length of the pendulum. I can change the mass of the pendulum. That means I can make it heavy, I can make it light. I can even change the swing of the pendulum. I can pull it more and then leave it. All the experiment will be done on the screen. So just now, and on the left side, you will see there is a scale, there is a timer. It is keeping the time. So we will do the experiment on the simulated form and see what happens. Let's see. See how it is moving. And now I'm going to start the time. Let's count 2. So that is 10 oscillations. Did anybody get 10 oscillations? It moved 10 times. And we want to see how much time it took. So on the screen, you can see how much time it took. Can you see? It took 17 seconds. So 17 seconds for 10 oscillations. We are going to do our calculations. Let's see what happens. This is the way we will do the recording. The length of the pendulum was shown as 70 centimeters. You have to be very careful. Whenever you're writing journal, you have to write the units. You can't just write 70 and leave it there. It can be 70 centimeters, 70 meters. So here I have written 70 centimeters, 10 oscillations, 17 seconds, written by S. Now there is a formula that you must know. How much time does the pendulum take for one oscillation? We calculate that for 10 oscillations, 17 seconds. So one oscillation, 17 upon 10, and you are good in science and maths. So you will get the answer as 1.7 seconds. Did you get 1.7 seconds when you divided 17 by 10? Yes or no? Can I hear someone? Yes, somebody is nodding the head. So 1.7 seconds. Wonderful. So now this is what I have done. What is it that you are going to do? You must also do something at home. You can do one thing. You can take a thread, tie a bob. You don't have a bob, you tie a stone and then hang it from one small part of the house and do the swing and see the time period for that pendulum. Then you remove that stone, put a heavy stone and see what is the time period for the same length. You can also do, instead of just pulling a little, pull more and send and see what happens. Does it go, does it take more time for one oscillation or is it the same time? Now that is your experiment. You have to do it. I'm sure from seeing your face and seeing your smile, I'm sure you all are going to do these experiments. So after we finish today, you have to do your own experiment. Tie the bob, tie the thread, and measure the time taken for n number of oscillations and find the time period. Okay, let's do the next one. Now we must know what happens actually when the bob is moving, when the pendulum is moving. From where does it get the energy? Where is the energy? All that you will see now. This is a new video. On the left side, you can see one small table where PE, KE, and total energy is written on the left side. And on the right side and everything else is the same. So let's start this experiment and see what happens. Where is the energy? So now I have, put that slow so that we can see carefully what is happening. Let's see what happens. Now see, very slowly, I'm going to pull the bob. I'm going to pull the pendulum. As we pull the pendulum higher and higher, the PE is increasing, potential energy, because of the height. Now see, slowly. When it comes to the middle, it is kinetic energy. When it goes to the end, potential energy. When it comes to the middle, kinetic energy. Now I have increased the size so that you can see. In the two corners, it is blue line, potential energy. In the center, it is kinetic energy. And this goes on. You will see that the last line remains the same, indicating that the total energy is constant. Potential plus kinetic is always the same. It is constant in the system. So this goes on and on. So have you understood? As the pendulum reaches a greater height, its potential energy increases. As it reaches the mean position, its kinetic energy increases. And so it goes to the other side. Then when its potential energy increases, the kinetic energy becomes zero and it comes down. Here kinetic energy is maximum, potential energy is zero. Goes on like that. And this goes on. So you have understood how the movement of the pendulum is connected to the energy. Okay, we go to the next slide, and in the next slide, I have done experiment with 3 pendulum. I will show you the experiments later. Just now, I'm just showing you what I have already done and saved in my computer. So I did this experiment and I just wanted to see with 3 different pendula of different length. One is big, one is small, one is very big. What happens? You will see that they are all moving different speeds. Now the question is, they are moving at different speeds. So that means the speed with which they move depends on what? On what does it depend upon? Can anyone say what it depends upon? I will do it again. Can anyone say what does it depend upon? Correct. I can hear the answer, not through the sound, but I can see you saying the answer. The answer is it depends upon the length. That's wonderful. You are able to see the experiment and tell the answer is a beautiful thing. It's great. So now let's see. So when we have 3 different lengths, we have got different time periods. And what I have done here is, now we have to record this in the laboratory, or even if you're doing it in your house, you can make a table like this. You can make a table like this. These are the different lengths: 20 centimeters, 24 centimeters, 28 centimeters. And I'm noting down the number of oscillations. You have to note down the time taken. Then you have to divide and get the time for one oscillation. So you will get time period. Now, how you are going to do this? I'm showing you. I have done this reading myself. So I will show you how it is. See what I did. 20 centimeters, 24 centimeters, 28 centimeters. When it was 20 centimeters, for the same time, 25 seconds, it took more oscillations, more to and fro movements. When it became a little bigger, it became a little less, only 25 oscillation. And when the length of the pendulum became 28, it decreased even further. There is only 24 oscillations. So you can see when the length of the pendula increases, its number of oscillation for the same time is decreasing, reducing. For 20, it is 28. For 28, it is 24. So let's see the time period. Now you know the time period. Time period is for 10 oscillations or for 28 oscillations, 25 seconds. So for one oscillation, how much? And I'm getting 0.89 for the first one. For the second one, 25 by 25, and I get 1. For the third one, 25 divided by 24, and I get 1.04. So you will also do this, okay? For different lengths, same stone, measure the number of oscillation, and you will see that the time period changes. Now I have drawn a graph. What is another way? One of the ways of recording is by recording it with numbers. But if we draw graph, it becomes easier for us to understand. So you will see that when it is 20 length, I have put the time period. For 24, I have put 1 as the time period. For 28, the time period, and you will see that it follows a curve. Can you see the curve? It's not a straight line, it is a curve. When it is a curve, we say that maybe there is some other factor that is connecting the two. So let's see what the other factor is. Now, science says that when the length, I have drawn another graph. A second graph, which is length on the x-axis and time square on the y-axis, and it is a straight line. So when we see a straight line graph, we should be very happy, because when we see a straight line graph, we are saying that when the length increases, the time square also increases, and it follows the same pattern. That means there is direct variation. Now, children who have studied direct variation, indirect variation, will know what is the meaning of length increases directly to time square. Therefore, we are able to draw this line. Now, in this line, A, B, and C are the readings that we took for 20, 24, and 28. Why did I draw such a big graph? I drew a big graph because I wanted to see what happens when the time square is 4. So see, when the time square is 4, if children can see, the reading is the length of the pendulum is almost 99. Now, if t square is 4, have you learnt square root? Time square is 4, so time will be 2. Because 2 square is 4. So time is 2 means this pendulum takes 1 second to go from one side to another side, and another second to go from the other side to this side. So it has got a time period of 2 seconds. Such a pendulum is a special pendulum. It is called seconds pendulum. It's called what? Seconds pendulum. A seconds pendulum takes 1 second to go in one direction and another second to go in the other direction. But if you want to make a seconds pendulum, the length of the pendulum will be almost 1 meter. 99 centimeters is 1 meter. This big will be the pendulum. So you can make a 1 meter pendulum and see whether you get a time period of 2 seconds. Let's go to the next one. So what are the two things that we studied in pendulum? That when the length increases, its time period increases, and the length and the time square are in a straight line. They vary with one another. And the third one is the length of the seconds pendulum should be almost 99 centimeters. That's a big pendulum. And let's see, these are the conclusions. After doing the experiment, there are 3 conclusions. When the length changes, the time period changes. Time square versus length is a straight line. And the seconds pendulum has a length of 99 centimeters. So 3 answers, 3 conclusions we have got. This is our first experiment of simple pendulum. This will help us to study the other pendulum experiment. Does anyone have any question? Or can I go ahead? Is there any question? Have you followed? If you have followed, show your hand. Yes. I'm going to the next topic. Oh, wonderful. So many people have raised hands. That means you have understood this experiment on your own. We go to the next experiment. What if we tie two pendula together? If we tie two of them of the same mass, same length, it's like tying two stones on the same thread. And then we will move one of them and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to just quietly move one of them and see what happens. I don't want you to just look at the experiment. I want you to see what's happening to A, what is happening to B. So let's do the experiment again. I'm pushing A just now. Now A has stopped. Then again, after some time, A stops. Then again, after some time, now it moves together. Let's see again. I'm pushing only A. I have not given any energy to B. But B is moving and A is stopping. Then B is stopping. Then A stops. Then B stops. And this goes on. And then they become together. They start oscillating with the same. Such pendula which oscillate differently first and then they stabilize, they are called coupled pendula. So experiments you can do with coupled pendula also. Now what are the observations of the coupled pendula? And what is our conclusion? From where did we get energy? What happened? So we will see it here. The green is one pendulum and the red is another pendulum. So first red pendulum has stopped. The green is moving. Now red is moving. Green has stopped. Red is moving. Red has stopped. Green is moving. Let's see again. Green has stopped. Red is moving. Red is stopping. Green is moving. So one when stops, the other is moving. So there is energy moving from one to the other and back again. So green is probably giving energy to B and then red is giving energy to green. Let's see what happens. What must be the conclusion then? So here is the conclusion. When we write the conclusion, we have to write the scientific principle. So first, A swings. That means it moves. Now it pushes the string. There is a string on top. It pushes the string. This string pushes B and provides it energy. So B gets A's energy and it starts moving. Now B gives its energy to A because Newton's third law, equal and opposite reaction. B gives energy to A. B had no energy. So A slows down and stops and B starts moving. Then A takes the energy from B and keeps moving, and so on. Let's repeat again. First A swings, passes the energy to B. A stops because it receives energy from B, and B keeps moving, passes the energy to A, and A gives its energy, so B stops. Therefore, they are giving energy to one another. The one which has more energy gives it to the one which has less energy, and this one now becomes less. Then this one gives energy to this gets energy, and then this one stops moving. So this way, energy is transferred from one to the other. This was the second experiment. Have you followed the second experiment? Yes. Yes. No, Mahesh has not followed. They have followed. Okay. Mahesh, have you followed? Raise your hand if you have followed. Okay. So we did simple pendulum. We did the pendula with different length. We did the coupled pendula, and now we are going to see the last one. The last one is this, and it is called as Newton's cradle. It is because this experiment is based on Isaac Newton's principle. So there are 5 balls, all of the same mass. We start with the first one. The last one goes. Now I'm going to change and I'm going to do with 2. I'm going to take 2 and do it. 2 of them go away from the other side. Now let's see what happens if we take 3. What can happen? Let's take 3. So let's do with 2 again. See? Pull 2, 2 goes away. What if I pull 3? Let's see what happens if I pull 3. Let me do it. How many will go? 2 or 3? How many? Wow! Yes! Let's see. See? That's 3 of them moving. Now, look at that. 3, 3, 3, 3. Let's do with 4 now. 4. Let's stop and do with 4. Oh, there you can see 4 moving. 4. I come back to the last one. 1. And then let's see what happens. See? This is also something you can do at home and play with the stones. It's Newton's cradle. Now there are questions. The first ball when I left, why did it not come back? One question. Second question, when I left one ball, why all did not move? Why only one moved? These are all the questions that as children we have in our minds and heads, and then we want to know the answer. That is the most beautiful part about science. So let's see what happens. See this. On the rocket, you can see the rocket changing direction. When it reaches the end, it changes the direction. You can see arrow. Can you see the arrow? The arrow indicates that it has got velocity. The word velocity means it has got some speed for movement, and it has also got a direction. So it cannot come back. The last one has to go because it has got momentum. It's passing on the momentum. And that is something that is about this experiment. This experiment is not only about momentum. Let us see what happens. The white ball first had kinetic energy, then it became potential energy, passed it to the red ball transfers it to kinetic, and then it swings. So I have shown the arrow on top. Kinetic to potential to potential to kinetic, and it moves. Kinetic to potential to potential to kinetic, and it goes. The second one goes. So this is what is happening in the Newton's cradle. So energy is getting transferred. That's the conclusion. When the ball is lifted, we saw that the potential energy increases. It gets converted to kinetic. Energy cannot be destroyed. So it passes to the next ball, which gets compressed, which gets pushed. And this converts it into kinetic energy when it changes the shape, transfers it to ball 3. Same thing happens to ball 4, reaches ball 5, and now there is no other ball to compress it. There is no other ball after 5. So it just goes running. It goes with the same speed as the first ball. So the first ball passes to the second, second to the third, third to the fourth, fourth to the fifth. Now the fifth one does not have any other ball stopping it. So it goes on its journey and it comes back and it's 5 to 4, 3, 2, 1. Then one goes here and comes back. And why does the first ball not come back? Because it has got momentum and in a direction. It cannot come back. It has to pass the same momentum till the last direction. Are you all thinking about something? Have you followed this third experiment? Newton's cradle? Yes. Yes. Hand. If you have followed it, hand. Yes. That's the way to do it. Okay. Now let's just see what happens. Who did all these experiments? This experiment was done by Galileo. Galileo, so many years ago, he was standing in the church and watching the chandelier. Chandelier is that big light in the church. The chandelier was swinging and he did not have anything to calculate the oscillation. So he used his wrist, he used his pulse, and he found out that when the pulse is hitting 10, this one is hitting, say, 15. Again he tried, again he tried. So he was not concentrating on God. He was concentrating on the movement of the chandelier in the church. And he found out so many experiments using pendulum. And the most important of his find is that simple pendulum is isochronous. It's a big word. It means if you swing like this, also the time period will be the same. If I swing it far, also the time period will be the same. If I swing it less, also the time period will be the same. So for the same pendulum, the time period will always remain the same. That's about Galileo. Now let's see a few conclusion of all the experiments. In the first experiment, different length, different time periods. Yes? From A to B, the blue is one ball transferring energy. When it becomes less, the orange becomes more. When orange becomes less, the blue becomes more. So when one stops, the other moves. When this one stops, this one moves, and so on. Transfer of energy is taking place. And in the last one, Newton's cradle, see how it is moving? So there is conservation of energy. Energy is not wasted. Conservation of momentum. It goes in the same direction. And there is friction. That's why it stops after some time. Now, I want to show you these experiments. Are you ready to see the experiments? Do you want to see the experiments? Yes. So let's see the experiments. Okay. I'm going to stop presenting here. And let's see the experiment. So I'll take the first one. You can see. Can you see? Let's see what happens when I move. Now I'm going to move all the three of them together. That's the ball. Can you see? Can you see? Let me do it again. I'm taking all the three of them. The three of them have different time periods. The oscillations are different. Okay, now we do the second experiment. The next experiment is the coupled pendulum. I bring the coupled pendulum. And I will show you what happens. I'm going to use one and move one. See, the first one has stopped. Now the second one has stopped. First one has stopped. Second one has stopped. And now they are moving together. Let's do it again. First one stops, second one stops, first one stops, second one stops. Transfer of energy is taking place. And you can see Newton's third law also. Let's do the Newton's cradle. That's Newton's cradle here. Let's see what happens when you take one. You also can do these experiments in your house. What happens when we take two? Two. What if we take three? Three. What if we take four? Four. Let's come back to the first one. Just one. One. So you too can do these experiments in your house. You can also do the experiments with the equipments that are provided to your laboratory. And with that, you can learn, you can take your readings, you can find out something new, you can become a scientist, you can become as famous or more famous than so many other scientists in the world. So that is our hope, that you will be able to do more and more experiments, not only in the laboratory. Then there is no fun. You must also start doing experiments in your house, using simple things that are available in the house. So did you like today's? I have finished with all the things that I wanted to show. I want to show one more thing, and that is, we will do the conclusion of these experiments. Let's see what happens to all the experiments. Let's do the conclusion of these experiments. What are the different conclusions of all the experiments that we studied just now? Let's see what happens. We just take a round. First we did linear motion, rotational motion, oscillatory motion, example, definition, how a pendulum works, how to take the readings, what is the energy. Then we did different lengths, we did recording of them, we drew the graph, conclusion, what is a coupled pendulum, we worked how the pendulum works, then we studied Newton, then we did this Galileo, and we saw all the three. So we have also done the experiments, and now we have reached the end. Did you like what you saw? Did you learn anything? Would you like to say something about the experiments today? I have finished what I have to say. Now you have to tell me, did you like it? Did you learn about conservation of momentum, conservation of energy? I'm waiting for the answer.
Ramesh, are you there? You can put forward your views.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We like the all the experiments and we learn a lot about what are types of motion.
Oh, great.
Yes, ma'am. And we will also try this all experiments in our house, ma'am.
Yes. Oh, that's very nice. Great. Anybody else would like to say what they have learned? I saw Mahesh noting down many things. Would he like to say? Would he like to speak? Okay. So back to the STEAM lab. I think I have done my work.
Okay, so the floor is open if anybody would like to ask any question from the teachers or even from the students or any feedback they would like to share. The floor is open. Teachers,
Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I am from Bengaluru. We are also the beneficiaries of the STEM lab given by the Reaching Hand and the United Way Bengaluru. So we are thankful for them, and we are very thankful for Jayashree Madam for presenting all these energy conservation models and other things. So students are also quite happy about the experiments. During this pandemic lockdown, they did not have more access to the laboratory experiences. Now this forum has been conducting this type of experiments every month, and this is a kind of benefit they are deriving from this one. So one thing I would like to add, apart from what Madam has spoken about, the presentation and other things, the conservation of energy has been well understood in all these experiments. In the beginning stage, in class 8th, 9th, they have these lessons. So
Wonderful.
this is one good attempt for children. The apparatus and the experiments are so simple that they can devise or improvise one of their own choice.
Yes, sir.
So that is one thing which they can do. And most of the students in the rural area have come across this. Most of them play this swing. Swing is a very familiar example of this pendulum and the conservation. One thing we need to underline here is how the kinetic energy is being converted into potential energy and continuously into the kinetic energy. That is the
Yes.
best example. Almost every teacher of physics quotes in his classroom. The swing is the best example upon which the children sit and play in
Yes, sir.
school grounds and at their homes also. So how the potential energy they experience also, how the energy is being converted into kinetic energy, and at one point of time it becomes the potential energy.
Yes,
And
sir.
in most of the other experiments, Madam has very categorically explained how energy is transferred also. It is not only the conversion of one form of energy into another form, how the energy is transferred from one physical body to the other physical body. The Newton's cradle has been the best example for this.
Yes, sir.
Through this, children can understand how the stationary balls can also transfer the energy from the first one to the last one. I think every month or every fortnightly possible, more than one experiments or more than one concept should be dealt with children, because these days in Karnataka, children, the schools are also
Yes, sir.
it is some network issue.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
That is not sufficient. And the reaching end and the organizers are doing an excellent job to cater to of children both in urban sector and also in the rural. So most of experiments which they can also practice, as my student Ramesh has put forward his view in this forum.
Yes, sir.
So I wish to thank the presenter, Srimati Jayashree ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent effort you have made to communicate physics in simpler languages and in simpler experiments, which is actually needed. Without looking into the textbook, we have to teach. That is what we have done now. So when we write the chapter name and all these things, children concentrate only for the examination and not for learning science. So I think you have moved one step forward to achieve this goal, objectives, and other things. I thank all the organizers, Savari madam, for taking all this pain to reach most of the children in our state and also other states. So thank you for doing this. I wish to request the organizers to increase the frequency of this meet next time onwards. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we will definitely look forward for another sessions in the month of July, sir.
Yeah,
And
we
will
must
inform about it.
concentrate on mathematical concepts also, ma'am, because the STEM lab also has the mathematical components. That is also very good materials they have
Very
provided.
nice.
Interactive ones, the formula, algebra, geometry, all these things must not be ignored. They must also be given prominent position in the webinars. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your feedback. And also for other, if anybody would like to speak, other than that, in chat box, we have shared one link for the feedback. So please take out 2 minutes time and share your feedbacks to, so that next time we can come up with more ideas and as per your requirement. And also you can download your e-certificates from there. Anybody else would like to say something from donors end or from our end? The floor is open. And we'll definitely work on the mathematics point. That's a really valid and good point Sir has raised. I think we can keep on going such kind of webinars more and more. The frequency, once it's getting ruled out, then more people can speak. And we want it should be interactive one, even in a chat. And if people can unmute themselves and share their feelings and also feedback, would be really appreciated. So I think, can we conclude this if anybody don't want to say anything? Sharvari, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, we are going to make one group of teachers. So, Jayashree madam and our one more trainer will be there, Adesh. So, if you have any questions or any queries regarding the lab or apparatus, please feel free to ask them about whatever comes in your mind. So, we can interact it through, and where we can do once WhatsApp calling also if you're comfortable anytime.
Great. I must say I enjoyed the whole process. It's great learning. Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much, ma'am, to be with us. And we'll surely meet again in a next webinar with a new concept, with a new theme.
Sure.
Till then, thank you so much and be safe. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.